Hello, I'm Skarloey, and you're listening to the Railway Series Book Club.
We could just all talk about our cats, man.
We could. We all have cats. We can talk about them.
Cat podcast.
She's next.
Yay.
She's sleeping.
Oh my goodness, a sleepy child.
I'm just a little guy, a small ball of cheese. Your cat is very talkative.
Yeah, she loves to, like, make the most ridiculous noises in the
Cheese
world.
is so quiet.
And right now she's, like, kind of writhing on the ground next to me, begging to be pet. It's quite ridiculous and
Cheese
very
is so
cute.
quiet. She hardly makes a noise. She goes goblin mode, but, like, very rarely makes a noise. So it's always very cute, and she does give us a little meow. With our hearts melt.
Aww. Cheese is very cute.
We're very blessed.
Cheese.
This is a cheese-loving household.
Yeah.
Cheese.
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 I'm still thinking about, like, James May saying hot dog the way he did, to be honest, in that video you showed me the other week.
I think B showed it to you.
Yeah, but you were there, right?
I was. I'm just saying, like, I wasn't the one who showed it to you.
Alright.
Yeah.
James May has some very good line reads, I think.
He does. Anyway, should we get going?
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome everybody to the Railway Series Book Club, the podcast where we talk about our cats.
Oh, yeah.
And James May.
And James May.
Cheese.
The garbage truck is, like, right outside my house, but I do not care. I'm going to talk anyway,
Whiffs waste
even
dump.
if it gets picked up on my mic. I'm Jamie, the Queen of Sodor. Pronouns she, her. I talk a lot about things.
I can confirm you do that. I'm Vivian. I'm a ghost. She, her. I ate a Kit Kat today.
That's fucking awesome.
Love a Kit Kat.
Yay, thank you.
And I am Andrew Von Sherlord, pronouns they, them, and I believe the garbage truck outside Jamie's house is meant for Whiff's waste dump.
For half a second, I thought you said Andrew Prawn Chairlord.
I am not a shrimp. I may have shrimp posture, that does not make me a shrimp. The shrimp?
That's fair. And,
The shrimp is Ambrose Kenny Smith.
And I am Luke, Explosive Cookie. My pronouns are he, him, and I like trains.
What the fuck? You like that?
That's fucked up.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, that's
dude.
so interesting. I never knew.
What are you, a loser or something?
Yeah,
Well, speaking of trains,
I agree with the cat.
Ash agrees.
Aw.
How does it feel to be a little podcaster cat? No comment. Oh,
That really says it all, doesn't it?
well, you know, at Ash's insistence, we're gonna take a look today at the second story in the Little Old Engine. Home at last.
At last.
At last, which,
At last.
funnily enough, is only the second Railway Series story to share a name with the Steely Dan song.
Oh,
First being Dirty Work.
interesting.
Also, by the way, everybody, if you want to talk to us more about cats and maybe share pictures of your cats and also give me your credit card information,
And give me
make
your
sure to join
cats.
the Railway Series Book Club official Discord server.
Yeah, join the Discord.
Yes.
And if you want even more of us, then you can follow the links in the YouTube description to our Blue Sky accounts.
We got
and nowhere
those
else.
now.
Yeah, we're jumping ship.
And the Tumblr.
Oh yeah, we have the Tumblr too. Anyway, do we have things we want to say about Home at Last before we get into it?
It's good.
This is the TV episode was like one of my favorites growing up, and I'm pretty sure there's like a bleh. And I'm pretty sure my Thomas and the Special Letter VHS is like worn out right around at Home at Last, because I used to like replay it so much.
I've always liked it. I think it's quite fun, effectively, like, you know, reintroducing the Skarloey after it's been away for a little bit, but also like I like it. It treats it like it's never been away, but also it's like catching you up, like, oh, where have you been? You know, all this has happened. Yeah. Come on, let's show you. I like it.
Yeah.
We got fucking Cora.
Way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Way. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
You know, like I've said on past Skarloey Railway episodes, since I grew up like being more familiar with the book Skarloey Railway for like this section of stories than the TV Skarloey, which I only really had for like seasons 5 and 8. I really kind of, this was one of the stories that I really latched on to just because it had so many like things in it I wasn't familiar with that I found intriguing, which we'll just have to get into as we cover the story, because there's a lot of characters to talk about in this story.
What if instead of a guard's van, Cora was a bard's van, and she was just a van that carried around musicians?
She's got like a stereo system built into her like sound wave.
Yeah.
NPR Tiny Desk concert inside Cora.
Honestly, I kind of want to do a story called Bard's Van now. I kind of love that.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, well.
The best Thomas stories always come from wordplay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's true. Like Break Van.
That's why we have Break Van. Exactly!
Which I still think
Break Van
like,
fucking
so
Kino.
many people don't clock the spelling pun.
Yeah.
Wordplay even.
Yeah. Especially over here.
No.
Like, it's a little sad, but like, it's still pretty funny.
Yeah.
Home at last. Peter Sam wanted to start work, but the Fin controller wouldn't let him. Another day's rest will do you good, he said. Besides, I've got a surprise for you. For me, sir? How nice, sir. What is it, sir? Wait and see, smiled the Fin controller. The surprise was Skarloey. Oh, said Peter Sam, I am glad you've come home. They lit Skarloey's fire, and he sizzled happily. I feel all excited, he said, just like a young engine. I'm longing to pull my dear old coaches again. Are they running nicely?
Skarloey!
The boy!
Yeah.
The boy is here.
Yippee! He is. I really like this illustration. It's like Skarloey under the little shack there just feels right.
Yeah.
You know?
I love his dumb little shack so much.
Yeah. His little shack so he gets to see the railway.
I firmly maintain that if you make a Thomas like fan video and you put anybody else in that shed, it is not a valid video.
Damn.
Except for Rusty.
Rusty can share.
Yeah. Rusty, you know, Skarloey's like nice that he'd be willing to share with others, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, however...
Skarloey's chill like that.
Yes, however,
By
I'm not.
principle.
Skarloey may be chill, but I'm not.
Well, it's a good thing you don't live at Crovin's Gate, then.
Prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let me just dox you real quick. Yeah. Alright.
I live at 123 Suck My Dick Street.
Hey, wait, but that's my address.
Exactly.
Wait
She
a
is living in your
second.
walls.
Why do you think it's called Suck Your Dick Street?
Better start paying rent, fucker!
Oh, boy.
Off to a good start.
I like that the Thin controller insists to Peter Sam that he does not have to work right now.
Yeah.
He's still
Yeah.
recovering
No.
from his traumatic incident.
You've had a workplace
Yeah.
injury.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm fine to work, promise! And he's like, fucking covered in, like, bandages and shit.
Yeah.
If you've been injured at work and it wasn't your fault, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
Yeah.
It sounded more Indian than it did Welsh. I was going for Welsh, but...
Financial compensation.
So I forgot to write down this note, but I just remembered that in the TV series, we get to see the scene of Rusty helping Skarloey home and off the truck,
Yeah.
which is neat.
So I really like that scene.
Yeah, it's a nice scene.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, the TV episode for this is another one that has been ever so slightly tainted for me by the... Like, well, not really tainted, but, like, the brainworms have brainwormed, by WTL Network's YouTube poop of it, and I think this one, it was the first segment of Pogo on this hit, and very specifically the scene with Peter Sam at the beginning is just fucking etched into my skull, because I think way too much about fucking, for sir, me sir, how sir, nice sir, what sir, is sir, it's sir.
Well, instead of Sir, it was Gur, and it was just Gur from Invader Zim.
For me good, how sir, fuck. I can't do it.
Your mind.
Peter Sam goes
People,
to Hot
people.
Topic.
I know that it's just like how the engine was built, but it does look weird to me whenever I see like Skarloey with only the one sandbox.
So, actually, that to me is quite interesting because this is meant to be when he's come back from rebuilding. So really, he should have two, as he does in the last illustration of the book, before the Talyllyn, skipping ahead a bit. It's weirdly inconsistent that this is meant to be Skarloey back from overhaul, and only in like the last illustration of Skarloey is he accurately how he would look with two sandboxes and a running board, whereas like the running board and sandboxes just kind of like don't exist until that last illustration.
I think Kenny just forgot.
He went through
Interesting.
a metamorphosis.
Yeah.
He grew another
Well, yeah.
one.
But no, it's. I do like the illustration. It's I like how you can see a bit of the wharf in the background as well, actually, with the wagons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a little row of wagons.
Also, yeah, in that last illustration, actually, Skarloey does have the two sandboxes, but the second one is like differently shaped to the first, which is curious. Very curious.
It's weird.
It's fucked up.
Interesting.
I'm scared.
Be scared, be afraid. It's not October anymore, but that doesn't mean you should stop being afraid.
Yes, they're running well, Peter Sam answered, but we have 5 other coaches now. Skarloey was interested. Oh, he said, tell me about them. Cora is a guard's van. She isn't as big as Beatrice, and she hasn't a ticket window, but I like her best. She was my guards van in the old days. Ada, Jane and Mabel are plain. Oh god, that's fucking brutal. I'll start that.
Jesus. Yeah, what the hell?
What the hell, bro?
Dude.
Ada, Jane and Mabel are plain. They have no roofs. Sir Handel says they are trucks, but they have seats, said Peter Sam. So I say they're coaches. What do you think, Skarloey? The old engine smiled. If they have seats, they're coaches, he said firmly.
Sir Handel be like, if she breathes, she's a thought, and Skarloey be like, all women are queens.
Yeah.
All seats are coaches.
I do really wish that all of these coaches that are introduced in this story were even half as characterized as like the main
set.
5.
Yeah.
Because
It's a
Like,
shame they kind of
genuinely-
like only exist like here, and you never really get much out
Yeah.
of them
Yeah.
in the other Skarloey books.
like I've said this before, but Angus in the books is the
Angus?
most characterized coach.
Agnes.
I'm dyslexic. Leave me alone.
Sorry,
I'm gonna go
I
die.
took him out. I was like, Angus? Who the fuck's Angus?
Leave me alone.
Bjork's
Well,
new
to
friend
be
Angus.
fair,
I'm quitting the podcast.
okay, well, while Vivian packs her things, to be fair, Ada, Jane, and Mabel have a leg up on the others because, you know, instead of characterization, they have wooden
they
railway
got the wooden
toys.
railway toys. Yeah.
I always find it so.
names
And
written on
I
the
think
back.
those wooden railway toys
I
are
always
fucking
find it so
awesome.
fucking random that they have toys. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, it's fun.
They're from the era of wooden railway where they ran out of TV series characters to make, so they were like, fuck, let's just pull guys from the books.
I like when the toys do that. So it's like, obviously there was like the Yertle Skarloey prototype, like, because they knew that I think it was coming into the series, but there was no way they'd know that they'd changed the livery, so it's got like the blue lining
Yeah.
and stuff. I've always liked
Yeah, and
that.
same with George.
Yes.
I mean, we know now because we've seen them. I'm gonna commit. I'm calling her Angus for the rest of the episode.
Nice.
But we've seen the prototypes of. I think it was her and Jemima.
Who
Yeah.
made-
Yeah.
Was that with
I
Yertle?
believe so.
Yeah, that was Ertl.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've seen those. I'm going to have a look now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Hold on. There are
Yeah,
a
it
bunch
was
of
like
prototypes
a
that got
couple
auctioned
years
off.
back, a bunch of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ertl.
There was also prototype Mike and the truck.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
No faces.
Yeah, no faces. Uh-oh.
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
know they did those. And going by the couplings,
I think
they were going
I-
to be like later ones.
Oh yeah, those were the next planned batch of releases. So like right after Jock, they were gonna do Mike, the coaches, and the truck.
We got so close and we were fucking robbed.
Yeah. I really wish Ertl had, like, stuck around for a few more years, so that way we could have gotten, like, I don't know, some insane shit.
I am
like,
incredibly biased.
I don't know.
Ertl was like my childhood ones, so I will always say yes. Just give me more.
Yeah, nah, mine too.
I'm so sad that they wound up when they did.
I bet if they'd stuck around long enough, they would have done Albert and Victoria.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be wild.
So, obviously, Take Along Mike came out before the planned Ertl Mike, but I'm just imagining it if they did, like, Take Along vintage coaches.
That would have been peak.
They'd have done the vintage Skarloey coaches, but still no express coaches or Henrietta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they made a Colby, and I don't think they ever did a Catherine or anything for him.
What range is
No.
that? Sorry.
Take Along.
Take along.
Huh.
Like, from what Hazel said, Take Along was specifically told to avoid rolling stock without faces and, like, road vehicles without faces. Because Ertl was covered in, like, the Dyson low loader and the express coaches and the pump trolley and all that kind of shit. And it was kind of all shelf warming.
Yeah.
Which, admittedly, I love that they made the Dyson low loader, but also why the fuck did they make the Dyson
It's
low
one of my
loader?
favourites as a kid.
Yeah.
Also,
Like, it was
on the
fucking great.
subject
You
of
could
Ertl
do
proto-
so much with it. I used to like load like
That is true.
playability wise. I remember as a kid, it was one of my favourite things.
I mean, it's really cool.
You know, that is fair. You know what? That's probably why they made Madge, is so they could do that again, but with a face.
Which is kind of fucked up considering Madge is only big enough to take the narrow gauge engines.
I
Yeah,
don't think a Scammel in real life would have the horsepower to even move a narrow gauge one.
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah, but you telling me that
but-
cool truckings isn't accurate?
Maybe, but I think because of the name, it can be forgiven.
Yeah.
So true.
But on the subject of photo prototypes as well, I've just been having a look through some shit, and I completely forgot that the guy who designed the Ertl range like made a prototype for Cadbury #1.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
which
it's very cute.
I would have loved to have,
Was
honestly.
that for anything, or you just was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do this?
I
Yeah,
think they were just
did it
planning
for
on.
fun.
Oh, just Ertl
Yeah,
as a general thing. Let's just make this steam engine because it's Cadbury's.
I guess maybe.
That could be it, or it could also just be like, you know, he just stole a couple of pieces of equipment and it's just like, you know what would be funny?
Well, he like sculpted the prototypes himself, like at home. So like
Yeah, like these are all handmade.
he had the materials to do that shit. Also, there's a photo of 3 Peter Sams
3 of them.
that he'd made.
I think that really says everything about why Ertl is the way it is, because they were all designed by, like, one guy in a shed eyeballing the references and then just hand sculpting a die.
This is a shit-eating grin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
That one is a menace. The one on the right, that is our friend.
Yeah.
The one in the middle, I doubt.
Kill.
He's the weak link to be culled.
Damn.
He's the one they're going to eat.
That's so fucked up. You know what else is fucked up?
What's that?
Cora not having a ticket window.
Well, I mean, could they fit one in her?
Oh, no. Like, in the real thing, no. Like, the space where you'd want one and really could do one is where the handbrake is. So, like, you'd be like
Damn.
wrestling yourself over the handbrake to try and serve up the tickets.
Yeah. That's how it's actually fucked up, is that Mabel isn't actually in this picture.
Yeah, where is she?
Behind the steam.
Wouldn't it be really funny if, like, when they were making Ada, Jane, and Mabel for Learning Curve, they, like, messed up and
Bless you.
misinterpreted
And
the
just made
illustration,
Cora.
and instead of doing... made Cora and called her Mabel or something.
Oh god. That would be so
I mean,
fucked
you know,
up because that would require
they-
if people wanted a full set of the Ruthless coaches, they need to buy a second set of Ada, Jane, and Mabel.
Yeah,
And then they'd have a fourth just laying there.
it's not impossible is the thing, because when they made Catherine and Wooden Railway, they based her off of the truck.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah!
The Wooden Railway Catherine, like, the reason that it's like a two-piece thing, and there's like that weird little baggage thing at the back, is because they misinterpreted the truck as being a coach with a wagon.
Why? Oh, that's just funny.
Yeah.
It really
Because
is.
obviously
Yeah.
Hazel got it quite right. I didn't
Like, here you
have a
go.
lot of
There's-
Wooden Railway as a kid.
There's
Yeah,
Wooden
that
Railway
is just
Catherine.
no. That's the truck. What have
Yeah.
they done?
Yeah.
Idiots. No, that's probably quite mean.
What did they do?
No, that's just funny.
Yeah.
Something else on
Ash is yelling in disgust at what they've done to Catherine.
something a little weird I've spotted is that in this picture and the previous Peter Sam's got round buffers
Oh, fuck, you're right.
and doesn't get the entire
He's
rest
got
of the
round
book.
buffers in the last illustration, too,
Yeah.
on his back.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh. I forgot.
It's okay. pretend I just did a shoulder pat.
Okay. I also just remembered that, Cora is named after the Chorus Railway because she's based on the van from the Chorus that went to the Talyllyn.
Can I...
Yes, please.
This was the funniest thing I think I found. The Reverend didn't come up with that name.
Oh.
I was looking through some really early issues of Talyllyn News, which is a newsletter kind of magazine that comes out every 4 months. Not every 4 months. Yeah, every 4 months. 4 times a year. There we go. That's probably easy to say. For members.
Quarterly?
Yeah, quarterly. It comes out quarterly for members of the railway. And in the early 50s one, there is a story or something, and the chorus van is referred to as Cora throughout. And I'm pretty sure it predates this book. So I think that's something that Van 6 was just known as in the early days to certain people. The Reverend just nicked it because it's a good character name. And but it is absolutely derived from the Chorus Railway.
That is wonderful.
Is so fucking
But
funny.
it's seemingly something that the van was known as by certain people on the railway.
Holy shit.
If the new Chorus Railway ever builds like an exact duplicate of the Cora van, just call it Reese, so you got Correese.
Yeah. I know they'd like to at some point, because it did used to have a ducat at one point.
Oh shit.
So I think if they ever did it, I'd quite like to see them build one with the ducat, so that there's some difference between the two.
Interesting.
Yeah. That would
It's
be
like if they built it with a ducat, it'd probably end up looking like the generic brake vans that they have in the TV
the ducats
show,
were huge.
where it's just van 6 but with
Way bigger than what's on the TV vans. It's quite. It looks quite funny actually.
Would it be taking up?
I'd
imagine. Would it be like taking up the space that?
That's not the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the entire space, pretty much.
Wow. That sounds pretty good, honestly. I'd like to see that.
Try and find a photo of it.
But yeah, I enjoy the coach infodump stuff here because, it's like Luke said earlier. They're just catching Skarloey and, by extent, the reader up on all the things that have happened since he's been gone, and I think that that's really nice.
Yeah.
It is catching up with an old friend.
Yeah.
And Skarloey is my friend.
Skarloey is not real.
No, but Skarloey isn't real. Yeah.
You can only see him in these books.
Goblins are real.
It's pretty parasocial of you, Vivian.
I was waiting for an in.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry if
it's fine.
That punchline from you.
You... It's just as well, really.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I'm not.
Mean to me. You're not sorry, or you're not mean to me?
Both. I'm not sorry because I'm not mean. I'm truthful. Big difference.
Yeah, that always gets you out of that situation, doesn't it?
Yes. Works like a charm.
I mean, it's only defamation if it's a lie.
Exactly. and that one actually holds up in court the best.
Before we completely move on from the topic, I pulled up the prototype Erdl page, and I just gotta ask, hey Luke, when you doing this with number 2?
Kill. Death for you.
What? I think she'd look pretty good at it.
I think Luke might just be afraid that you've rumbled his plans for Audrey X6.
Damn.
Yeah.
Audrey
Didn't want that one
X6
getting out.
starring Lady the Magical Engine.
Yeah. You know, it's only natural. First Smudger, now Lady. They're basically the same character.
Yeah.
God.
American and weird.
I'm sorry, Luke.
Sorry.
Okay, let's move on to the next page.
Yeah.
What the hell Why the hell did I say that?
Memes.
Meme school.
Sir Handel likes Gertrude and Millicent best, Peter Sam went on. He always tries to take them alone. They have bogies, and he says they're the only real coaches we have. They remind him of when he used to pull our express. Both have seats for passengers, but Millicent has a guard as well. He sells tickets and travels in a tiny cupboard place. I don't like that, he remarked earnestly. Guards are very important. They need vans. They shouldn't be put into cupboards. Skarloey said nothing, so Peter Sam continued.
So, you know, like was discussed during trucks.
Yeah.
Gilbert's thinly veiled complaint that he doesn't like Van 10 because the guard's compartment's too small.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it's so fucking funny knowing that now. That's so good.
And I think it's even funnier that, like, the fact that Skarloey just says nothing about it shows that, at least to me, that Wilbert's just a little bit self-aware of it.
Oh, yeah. He knew what he was doing.
I love...
Like, he's like, but anyway, that's just me. Takes annoyingly loud and long sip of tea.
I love learning more and more that practically every aspect of the Skarloey Railway books was either Wilbert making a joke that the other volunteers would understand, or complaining.
Oh, yeah. No, genuinely, it is... It's cool looking back on them. Having been a volunteer at the railway, and it is just, there's so much in there.
Yeah.
There really is. And no, it's fun. It's cool. Yeah.
I wonder if he named the coach that he doesn't like Millicent because there was some person named Millicent in his life that just really pissed him off.
Oh yeah, there's a section about that in Tank Engine Man, actually.
I haven't read Tank Engine Man, so for all I know, you could be telling the truth.
I could be. You know, Brian Sibley just dedicated an entire chapter to writing about Wilbert's greatest op, this one bitch called Millicent.
Oh, no, on like...
You fool.
Like an aside.
Go ahead.
A lot of people, I think that Gertrude and Millicent are like meant to be based on TR coaches 9 and 10, and they are, but like not as they are now, or at least they wouldn't be at the time, because the current way that coach 9 and 10 at the Talyllyn look like, that's 1967, 1968 when that was done, and this book is, you know, way before that. This is like what coach 10 looked like, and you can kind of see the small cupboard place for the guard, which is literally
oh yeah, that's
that.
that really is a cupboard.
They were affectionately known as the cardboard coaches, because they were made out of very thin wood. But
yeah,
Coach 10, so Millicent, technically an open coach because it doesn't have windows. It's just open air, which is reflected in like one of the pictures. Yeah, and you can see with the way the ducket is, like this is it very obviously meant to be these versions of Coach 9 and 10. I'm sure, like if Wilbert kept right, and they would probably get rebuilt to have the more proper bodies.
Yeah.
As per real life, but at the time of the book, yeah, it's meant to be like these slightly shitty, rickety coaches, which I love. I think they're great.
Yeah, it is
In the
pretty fun.
shittest way.
I'm just currently imagining just. In my mind's eye, I have this scene of Wilbert and this random woman named Millicent just in the middle of a thunderstorm atop a hill.
Yeah.
And just
Huh.
curse you, Millicent.
This is Gertrude.
You foiled my plans again. You wretched bitch.
Looking at this illustration, I just noticed that Sir Handel has red wheels,
Yeah,
which
I was
is
gonna
awesome.
point that out to you, because I remember you mentioning how, like, how much it saddens you that Kenny sort of does away with the red wheels,
Yeah,
except for here.
but there they are.
Yeah.
I would have kind of liked it if it was just Sir Handel himself kept it. That was just his thing.
That'd be kind of funny. That's how you know they're steamroller wheels.
Oh, yeah.
They're coked red with the blood of the people that he's crushed.
Sounds right.
Yes.
And sheep.
Speaking of animals, horse and cart guy.
Yeah,
I wonder what their deal is.
I think, actually they made the horse and cart guy in the TV episode of Bullseyes based on this guy.
Yeah, he's at like the level crossing, which is interesting. You know,
That's
it's
quite
nice
an
that they
interesting
were,
reach.
you know, it's
Interesting
nice that they were
pull.
still basing the like human props off of stuff in the illustrations that laid into the game.
Yeah. To be fair, you know, it was during season 4, which was, you know, Audrey catch-up, you know.
Yeah, true.
I love this illustration.
Yeah.
I think it's one of my, like, favorites out of all the Skarloey books. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure I've got a picture of the actual one from that someone took at one of the Audrey X years.
What's that of? Sorry.
I think I've got a picture that someone took of like the original illustration at Audrey X one of the years.
Yeah. I'll have to have a quick nosy through my photos because I've got all of those. Funnily enough.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Wow! No, I wouldn't have expected that from you.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty out of character for you to like the Railway series, Luke.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. Burn it.
Yeah. Big Orange and Go fan, this guy.
Oof.
Yeah, you've been flanderized by Andrew Brenner.
It's a Thomas promise.
Did Rusty help you off your truck? Yes, he says he's come to mend the line and do odd jobs. I like him, smiled Skarloey. So do I. Peter Sam explained how kind Rusty was when he had had his accident. It's a pity Duncan doesn't like him. Who is Duncan? Funny meme. He came as a spare engine after my accident. Is he useful? He'll pull anything, and I'm sure he means well, but he's bouncy and rude. He used to work in a factory, and his language is often strong. I understand, said Skarloey gravely. The Dunkman is here.
Yeah!
The Dunkman is here!
It's not Al anymore. It's Dunk.
You know,
Dunkachino?
Don't mind if I do.
Hello, surprise new engine. This is something that like always kind of fuck with my head when I was a kid. That like, oh, I guess between stories in this book, this engine just arrived off screen.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, like Rusty also arrives off screen.
Well, yeah, but that was like
that was
between books, so he was like part of the
Yeah,
exposition
true.
going into it. So I was more willing to like, you know, I was more open to that. Whereas it's like, oh, How much time passed between stories? Like,
Well, given Trucks is quite wintry.
but also,
Not Trucks, sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm getting mixed up with Special Funny. Special Funny? Special Funnel. What's happening?
Special Funny.
I'm going mad!
oh no!
Special Fanny.
Yeah, no, never mind. I'm speaking out my arse.
Speaking out your special fanny.
Wee.
Which, of course, is the opposite of... It's the other way around to ask. Anyway.
I love
Anyway,
Duncan.
who
Yeah,
is
I love
Duncan
Duncan
was a
too.
meme
He's awesome.
for a little bit. It was a very forced Twitter meme in, like, late 2010s, I think?
Yeah,
like,
the Who is
2018,
Duncan thing.
17?
Thomas
Yeah,
Twitter having
okay, I
shitty
remember
forced
now.
unfunny memes? Tell me it isn't so.
Well, you'd never believe it.
Something Dirty Percy?
Something, welcome Stanley.
Yeah.
Hey, Welcome Stanley's an OG. I'm willing to make an exception for that one.
I'm not.
I'm not, I
no.
didn't find that one funny.
Okay,
Back in your
fine.
You're outvoted, Jamie.
You can like it, but the board is unanimous.
Well, I don't.
You're
I
out,
don't
Norman.
like it. I'm just willing to humor it a little bit.
I'm not. Stanley isn't welcome in my home.
Kill Stanley.
Damn.
This is a Stanley free home.
Just.
What, you're not gonna buy Bachman Stanley when he comes out?
I mean, yeah, but he'll be in the shed. That's not my house.
Okay, well that makes sense, I suppose.
He lives in the shed
Anyways,
like a
Duncan.
dog.
The engines.
Yeah,
Duncan looks fucking rad in this book.
Duncan looks rad always, except when Spong illustrated him.
Oh, well,
Yeah, I
common
understand.
theme,
Like,
Yeah.
No, he's a very, no, Mr. Spong's a very
You
nice
know,
man.
it is annoying. It is kind of annoying when people like do the hyper realistic Duncan edits to dunk on Bachman, which I guess we're gonna see less of now since Bachman Duncan is fucking dead.
And I called
But,
it, by the
you know.
way.
So
Yeah,
what you're-
we'll have to deal with the repercussions of your actions later.
So what you're
but
Oh,
what
I'm
saying?
dealing with the repercussions of my actions. All right, I'm sitting pretty. I got my feet kicked up on my desk. I'm smoking a big cigar. Everything's gone according to plan.
So the point I was making is that I do also find the like hyper realistic Duncan edits to be a little bit annoying, but at the same time, I kind of get it because he looks fucking
Oh yeah,
rad.
like even the
Douglas is just an awesome
the original
machine.
like model Duncan. He's aight, but like not a patch
Yeah.
on the genuine Loco and how he looks in the Railway series. It's such a really like for what is effectively like an austerity time bare bones machine. Looks fucking great. I love
Yeah.
Douglas and Duncan. They're great.
See,
Duncan's one of my favorite characters.
my thing with that is like, I think Duncan looks great in the books, and like, I really like the edited Lorraine Marshall illustrations of him in the yellow in this design, but I don't like any of the CGI Duncan edits that make him look like Douglas. They just don't look.
No,
right
I think
to
it's
me.
because you're already working with you're working off something that's innately flawed towards what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like CGI
Did
Duncan.
Lorraine Marshall actually do Yellow Duncan? I don't remember.
Yeah, they did this illustration.
Oh, did they?
Huh.
Let me see if I can get it.
I don't remember
I
that.
think I can
I'll
remember
pull it up. Give me a moment.
rusty looking.
Gallery.
There's a truck rumbling right outside my house. It's a little annoying.
It's still there. It's been like an hour.
I think it's a
I
different
can't find
truck.
it on the wiki. I think you've made that up in your head.
No, I'm certain
I
I've
think
seen
the only
it.
one they did was trucks.
You might have seen a fan edit, because I'm not, like, the only narrow gauge story in the featured illustrations list is trucks.
Oh wait, okay, no, I think I'm thinking of like, I know for a fact I've seen an official edit of this illustration of Duncan in yellow.
Oh, you
I
know
what you're thinking of.
For
You're
some of
thinking
the,
of
like,
the one from the style guide, but that was Passengers and Polish.
yeah. Yeah, there's like a couple like official edits of the illustration to just be Duncan, and they've like kind of shift around the colors a little bit in post, so that way he looks more yellow.
Yeah,
Yellow.
hold on.
I think that's an interesting look, though. I like it.
Also,
You know.
I wanted to make this funny joke earlier, but I didn't get the chance. So now that Bachman Duncan has been cancelled, people can no longer
that's the
dunk
one.
on Duncan.
Damn.
Funny
Fucked up.
season 6 episode joke.
I'm
So true.
I still think Hayden had the best tweet. With Bachman Duncan loses the Funkin' Bunkin'. Perfectly timed.
I love Duncan so much. Like, just,
Yeah.
it is nice when a character is just an ass. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Duncan is like peak that.
and
He's
even
awesome.
even
I
when he
love
like
him.
mellowed, he's still an ass, just not diesel racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. Duncan.
And even
Duncan
then,
is
he was
a
like
jack.
goaded by James, who evidently listens to like right wing podcasts
Yeah.
that are
Yeah,
anti-diesel.
we'll get to that next time. There's a lot to say about diesel racing.
The thing with Duncan is that like
I see
He's
I was
a-
listening to Joe Rogan last week.
he's a jackass, but like he's a jackass that has morals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Like-
what Peter Salmon says here. Actually, it's like he will do anything. He might complain about it.
Yeah.
He might not like it, but he will still
He'll do
it.
anything.
He knows he's got to do it.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, we'll get to it not in this book, but like Passengers and Polish and stuff. That proves like he will occasionally go, "No, fuck you," but will then learn from that. But that is jumping forward a few books, so I'm gonna shut up.
Like that well, that's what I love about Duncan is that like more often than not, if he's in the wrong, he admits it himself.
Yeah.
Like, he's a dick, but I think he's aware of that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
we're not going to be doing these stories because they're TV series episodes, but the Duncan episodes in season 18 are
Yeah.
some of my
By the
favorite
way.
stories in the entire series.
Yeah, they're real good.
Some of Davey Moore's best scripts.
Yep.
Like, I love him apologizing to the Fin controller before the Fin controller says anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Duncan, he's an asshole, but, like, he's very cognizant and, like, willing to relent if he's, like,
Yeah.
being an asshole for no good reason, I guess. Or, like, God, I had the words in my head, but now I'm losing them. It's like, he, if he's misplaced his anger or, like, done something he shouldn't, he's pretty quick to own up to it.
Honest to God, Duncan and the Grumpy Passenger is one of my favorite, like, story concepts the entire brand has ever done.
I love
Just
it.
because, like,
Yeah.
like, let's pair Duncan up with someone who's even more of a dick than he is one of the funniest fucking ideas.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
something with that for me, it was definitely from like an era, for me, which like it was such a return to form, and that
Yeah.
cemented it for me. If that makes sense. Like that,
Yeah,
was like,
absolutely.
we're so back.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
so good. It was just
it makes me so
he was
sad
properly
because
him.
Yeah.
those two episodes felt like Duncan had never left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
he had always been there, always been exactly the same. And then we never got any more Narrow Gauge episodes.
Yeah.
We got Runaway Engine.
That is true. Millie's great. Love
Yeah.
Millie.
Millie's awesome.
Millie's
Love
pretty
Millie.
cool. I
Big fan of Millie.
Rewatched King of the Railway a couple nights ago. That was fun.
I love Millie and her two gay dads.
Yep.
I love.
Anyway, Rusty's also on this page. you think now's as good a time as any to talk about pronouns?
Sure.
Yeah, so, like, Rusty, also awesome. Peter, Sam and Skarloey talk about him on this page. Rusty's awesome. We talked about this in the last story a bit, too.
Yeah.
So, like, the big Rusty thing that I want to talk about, and this doesn't strictly have to do with the book, so it's cheating a little, but I want to talk about it anyway.
We talk about the
It's
TV
awesome.
versions of the stories anyway by this point. So like
Well,
I
yes.
think like I think we're fine.
Yes. But like this is one of the things about the TV show that I very happily allow to spread itself to the Railway series, and it's the pronouns or lack thereof. Because rather like famously / infamously, in season 4, they decided that instead of like having Rusty be gendered male like he is in the books, they would just leave him ungendered. So like, nowadays the fandom tends to like accept this as Rusty being non-binary because that makes more sense to us as people who live in the 21st century and are more like aware and cognizant of like queer identity. But back in the day, the intention was more or less, we're just gonna not use pronouns on this character who would be like, ostensibly male or female otherwise, so we can kind of pretend we have more gender diversity in the show than we actually have. And like, I think,
and even then from like a 90s standpoint, at least from the way I see things, I would reckon that like in the 90s, people who are very, out of touch with actual queer identities it absolutely tracks that like, oh yeah, this character's gonna be genderless for them equals no pronouns at all.
Yeah.
Rusty does not have pronouns. They did not come free with their Xbox.
Yeah, you are not allowed to perceive Rusty.
Rather, correction there, Vivian. The pronouns did not come free with the Little Diesel's Xbox.
True.
Like they only ever called Rusty the Little Diesel until like they accidentally used she/her in season 9, and then a bunch of people got mad about it and they changed it to he/him, and Michael Brandon started doing a terrible voice.
I think Michael Brandon started doing a terrible voice is kind of just all of them.
I mean, that's what he would have done anyway, but like...
That's just Michael Brandon's perpetual state.
That's what all of his narration was like.
Yeah. But like, speaking as a queer Thomas fan, I think that it was like mind-bogglingly progressive of them to do that in the 90s. And I hope that if Rusty ever like comes back into vogue in the IP, that they bring that bit back, because I think it'd be really cool to enshrine that into canon proper.
Yeah. I honestly like...
I had canon Rusty as he, they, anyway.
Honestly, same.
I kind of would like to see more Rusty content that just uses they purely want to be referred to as the Little Diesel. Because I've seen that once or twice and I kind of love it.
So it's obviously for me, like, my interest is definitely been more the books. So naturally in my brain I do kind of tend to go for the he him pronouns for Rusty, and that's not like in a way of going, no, that's not valid, it's not canon, because like
because it's
understandable.
But that's one of
just
those
how
things in my brain. It will just go to that because that is what I've grown up with the books and other stuff. But it means so much to people to have that, like, even if it is, as you're saying, like, it's evolved, the meaning of it's evolved to 21st century queer society, and it has been important to a lot of people. So we're very careful. Talking about ultra extravaganza, we are very careful to always use the Little Diesel. And we're very thing of it's the Little Diesel. If we're talking like where we need to use like Rusty's pronoun somewhere, we'll go for the Little Diesel, because then that's, it can be what the person viewing it makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
I respect that.
It's nice. It's what I quite like the Little Diesels thing, because it is, you can make it what you want.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all happy, and Rusty's just Rusty, and Rusty's cool.
Yeah.
Rusty
Yeah.
is very fucking cool.
Rusty's so cool.
I just remembered, like, in, like, the first, like, probably 5 or 6 months of us doing book club, when we got the Reverend will be disgusted by your pronouns comment.
Honestly, it's one of those things where some people will try and use this leverage of him being a vicar as, oh, he would hate the woke. And I honestly I think that he just wouldn't quite understand, but wouldn't be beyond maybe wanting to understand. I don't think he'd quite get it, but probably wouldn't give a toss.
Yeah.
Like from what I've heard,
people just...
talking to people at the railway who knew him as a friend, and through various stuff. Like, I think people forget, like, during the war, World War II, he was a pacifist, very much a staunch pacifist, and to be that at the time was very, like, no. He was not liked for that. And I think it might have actually had some relation to him moving going to a different church at one point, actually. So, like, if you would, it was pretty woke during the war.
Woke killed Audrey.
So it's one of those people so... I say people of a certain disposition will so jump go to, oh, it's a matter of the cloth, you would never do that. And it's like, people are more nuanced than that. You know?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think he'd necessarily get it, but I don't think he'd be hateful.
Yeah.
As some people would imply.
Yeah.
I've also just now remembered the really fucking funny Twitter thread that Hayden and I had on that, which was just... Like, I posted a screenshot of the comment, and we just riffed on the idea of Wilbert flatly refusing to ever use pronouns in any context.
Instead of even saying, oh, he just points at himself mid-conversation.
No, he says Wilbert.
But would that not in turn become a pronoun? If Wilbert only uses Wilbert to refer to the will self, would that not become a pronoun?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I just remember it was like he opens up the Bible and sees pronouns and just why, Lord. And then there was a thing of
And I was having such a nice day.
Crumbles.
and then there was a bit of like of him getting married, just like, so do you take her to be your wife? Wilbert does.
Me too.
Wilbert Audrey talks to the third person.
Oh boy.
Anyway, yeah, Rusty's cool.
Rusty's cool.
And so is Duncan. I have a lot to say about the diesel racism, but that'll have to be for next time, because I don't think that whole story is gonna have to be dedicated to unpacking that, because like I feel like if we talk about it too much here, it'll kind of like eat. What
We've got
have to say
Duncan
later.
humiliation to get to.
Yeah, there's plenty of Duncan to go around in the story.
Just then the telephone rang, and Skarloey's driver and fireman climbed into his cab. "Come on, old boy," they said. "Duncan is stuck in the tunnel, and we'll have to get him out." Skarloey was pleased. He wanted the run, and looked forward to meeting Duncan. They found Cora and some workmen, and hurried up the line. "How nice and smooth the rails are," thought Skarloey. They've mended all the old bumps. Rusty has helped to do that. I must tell him how nice it is. Going back to pronouns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this illustration so much.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
gonna
it's
get
a
on that
really
as
nice-
well.
It's
This is such
one
a
of
fucking
the
good one.
interesting things for me. I get a little pet peeve when people like have a bit of a pop off, going like, "Oh, the Skarloey is so unoriginal. It's just the Talyllyn." I'm like, this is Aberglaslyn on the Welsh Highland Railway. Like, it's not based on any
Yeah,
Talyllyn
that's-
thing. That is Aberglaslyn Pass on the Welsh Highland. And I think
yeah.
people like the Skarloey is like, twice as long as the Talyllyn. And yeah, it takes a lot of inspiration from other narrow gauge lines as well. The cover picture for the book of Little Old Engine is actually based on a Vale of Rydal location, which is what I don't think a lot of people have realised. But a damn long TARDIS Rescue pointed that out to me, and it broke me a bit. But I would break everyone else. But yeah, no, sorry. It's
The way I can hear the exact way he would have told
Well,
you
he showed
that.
me in a book. Because he was just saying that he was looking through a Rydal book and just went, oh. Like, I think he said he had to do like a double take. But yeah, no, it's.
I just like I really love how both the Skarloey and the mid-sodor way later were very much just, I'm going to take all these real railways and stick them in a fucking blender.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that always how it is when you're making your own railroad of lies?
Yeah.
As you know, certain Rapido trains people are wont to call it. You know, like when you're making up your own custom like narrow gauge railway, like it is kind of the best thing ever to just kind of like pick and choose the aspects of other railways to put onto what you want to make.
Yes, great. Going back to the point Luke was making before as well, not so much all of it, but just the people who complained that like the Skarloey Railway, the book is exactly like the TR. They don't have a tunnel on the TR.
Yeah, we got bridges.
No,
We got bridges.
They got bridges, no tunnel.
And the tunnel is very much, again, based on a lot of the things around the Aberglaslyn area on the Welsh Highlands. So, again, going back to Aberglaslyn,
Yeah.
there's a series of tunnels.
Yeah.
That
I didn't even know that, actually.
and there's literally one called the Long Tunnel, which is what I think it's meant to be kind of based on. If you have a look, like you'll see the similarities.
Yeah, like the
It's
sort
quite
of rock
literally
formations and
just
stuff.
a rock crop out, like that crop there, and it's yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to go to the Welsh Highland. Seems really nice.
It's really really nice railway. Scenery's gorgeous. I don't care much for the engines. The Garretts on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Rather a
gorgeous.
fairly than a Garrett.
Yeah, it's one of those things of I've only been up it once the whole way, once before, and the second time it was I managed to. There was a special train with like the bug boxes going up to halfway Bethgala, and I was just like, yes. And if you can get heritage stock on the Welsh Highland, please do.
I've only been to that area twice. One time was in the middle of lockdown, so we only got to go halfway up the Festiniog.
Oh, Tannable,
And
yeah.
yeah, the other time was it was for Audrey X, which I think we talked about because it was I left my mum in charge of booking the Airbnb, and she got confused and thought the event was on the Festiniog.
How?
So she booked an Airbnb in
I
Festiniog.
remember. She booked what in Blina?
Yeah.
Like.
So
The funniest thing though is even if the event was on the Festiniog Railway, staying in Blina would be the worst thing because everything starts at Porthmadog. Oh, that's precious.
So we were like an hour away from the event.
To be fair, quite
We had to
a
drive in.
lot of people end up staying in Porthmadog, which is I find so funny. Is like loads of people will stay next to the Festiniog Railway to drive an hour to the TR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That is really funny.
I think Abby might have walked down to like a station and got some pictures because Abby was staying with us, but I didn't go down with her. Actually, funny enough, the I think it was Max, 1055 Stepney, posted a video of like him and some other people with a little diesel shunter on like a plinth outside of a shop.
Yeah, that's up in Blind
And-
Festiniog.
Yeah. So the really funny thing with that is we could see that engine from our Airbnb. It was on the same street. So, like, I could look out my window in the Airbnb and just, like, it was just there. So that was a fun weekend, especially considering the whole we got locked out of the car so we couldn't get there on Sunday.
No.
We did
Was that
eventually make
this year?
it. It was just like, yeah, it was this year. We were getting packed up, right? Because we were going to go home right after the event. We weren't going back to the Airbnb. So we were packing the car, and my granddad set his keys down in the boot and shut the boot momentarily. And in doing so, something fell and landed on the keys, locking the car.
Oh.
So we were stuck. We had to call a taxi, and Abby and I got in a taxi and went on the railway, while my mum and my granddad had to wait for someone to come and unlock the car who was coming from, like, Bristol.
Oh my god.
God.
Bristol?
Yeah.
Dude.
So,
Like, I think what I feel most sorry for you is that you had to, like, have a roadside emergency in Wales. I've had a roadside emergency while driving in Wales with my family, and let me tell you, the road, you know, I don't mean to offend any present company, but the road situation in Wales is a little bit insane.
It's small.
there are certain roads that I've driven on in Wales previously with family, and I'm just like, I feel very at risk of death.
Yeah. English B roads are just kind of like that in general. But,
I
you
just
know,
fly around the local roads now at like fucking 60 miles an hour. I've got too used to them, it seems.
Jamie,
Honestly, the worst part of the whole car situation was, Mum and Granddad didn't get the chance to go on the trains at all.
oh,
Because
suck.
on the Saturday, it was Abby and me and, like, everybody, and we got on the chapel train. And the Sunday was meant to be the full trip up, and, like, we would go to the Aber exhibition and stuff like that. And they couldn't come, so...
oh no.
It's fucked up. Oh, boy.
By the way, Jamie, you said that a minute ago, like a fucking YouTube video title. Like, the Welsh
Yeah, that
Road
was the
situation
intent.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Huge drama.
Oh god. Yeah. You know, if I was capable of like making good YouTube videos in 2015, I would have done that. You know,
This Welsh road called me a slur, not clickbait.
Real? Do not call at
You know.
3 a.m.?
No,
another fun thing about this illustration is you can see that the letters SR are written on Cora. You can see it in the
And
last
that it's the
Cora
official
illustration, too.
abbreviation
But,
for the
like,
railway,
yeah.
not
Well, first of
fucking
all,
SKR.
you know, first of all, SKR is
what does the K stand
not real.
for? What does the K stand for?
Carl.
Connecticut.
Yeah, that makes
If
sense.
you're gonna fucking call the Skarloey Railway the SKR, make it even. Call the Talyllyn Railway the TAR.
Kill a bitch.
Oh, but the point I was trying to make
dipshits,
is
the lot
that
of
the
them.
fact that those letters are on this van in this illustration, I think is the reason why the original Bachmann 009 Skarloey van in blue had that lettering
It
in the
wouldn't
same
surprise
spot.
me.
Oh yeah, probably is.
Yeah.
like this picture though.
It's a shame that it's got discontinued, but I totally understand why, because it was like way more expensive than was reasonable at MSRP. Probably because it was borrowed from Pico.
Yes, the tooling was all of those were Pico toolings.
Yeah, I guess the licensing cost for their tooling was not cheap.
Which seems such an interesting move.
I hope they make Ada, Jane, and Mabel in Bachman.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I did some using the Meridian kits, and I'm still really happy with how those turned out, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there is a kid,
But-
isn't there?
The something that I quite liked was at the third Order Extravaganza we did the diorama challenge, and a chap called George Williamson, who does some really cool like model videos on YouTube, does some nice tutorial stuff, and he's doing a model of Nat Gwernel at the minute, layout, which is really really cool. But this is what he did for his entry. Based on,
hello.
That's good.
on this illustration. So like you can see in the first two pictures he did like a painted back scene, which is insane, and then the third picture is and then one picture he's removed the back scene and taken it outside, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is beautiful. It matches up to the picture really
yeah,
well, to be honest.
yeah.
Like this is a really really underrated illustration. It's not one I think about a whole lot, to be honest.
It's gorgeous.
I'm always been very fond of pictures of the narrow gauge engines with only like one or two wagons. I don't really know how to describe
Yeah.
it, but just like
It has a vibe to it.
it's like how I always thought about how the narrow gauge engines always had like one truck behind them in the show. I just thought that was the truck full of their special things that they keep.
My
the trinket
favourite
truck.
thing is just like for me it evokes such a TR thing of like when the railway was running down, it was very often just two coaches in the van, or one coach in the brake van, and I've always like loved that as a thing. It just always is so cool. He's got such a character to it, I think. And it's fun because it's not a big railway, and so they don't need long trains.
Yeah, exactly.
How many coaches do you guys have now?
Oh, I was thinking about this. So we've got, I think, 25
Oh, jeez.
right now.
Wow.
And we'll be getting our 26th later this year, start of next year. And then that's
Oh, yeah,
'cause
yeah.
we're getting 3 new ones.
That's almost
we're
done,
getting
right?
3 new ones built by the Festiniog and we've had Coach 24 and 25 arrive, and Coach 26 is due soon. But yeah, so 26. It's 26 carriages it will be soon.
Heck yeah.
I love every time the TR gets like something new. Like I'm still so excited for when they eventually get around to doing something with the little electric engine.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
I know basically nothing about that thing, but just I love it, just based purely on the vibe.
Little goober.
Yeah.
I
New
have-
friend.
I have very fond memories of the ballast tamper incident. Like seeing the YouTube videos pop up in my feed.
Which one's that?
Was it a ballast tamper? It was the one that they'd ordered from China. And
Oh,
didn't
the new
quite
tamper.
work.
Yeah. It,
Yeah.
We had to like. Oh, that was funny. We'd given them all the loading gauge and everything, and they built it wrong. So like it couldn't get out of the yard wharf. Because the bodywork was too wide and too low to the ground, and just hit the point rodding. So like we had to like send Alf down with a flat wagon, and put the tamper on the flat wagon. And then drag it up to Pendro, where it just got completely stripped down into bits, and we had to rebuild it before it could even work.
So
It's really funny.
So you paid someone to build something, and then
fucked
had to
it.
rebuild it because they built it
They
wrong.
fucked it.
Yeah.
I'm just loving the idea of just Alf, just like, well, not how I expected to spend my morning, but alright.
It quite literally like arrived in a box from China, and was hang on, there you go, and was just unloaded at wharf. It's just too wide. But bro's a box.
That's real good. I like that. Oh man, it's so square.
It's still square now, but I think it looks nicer now. Now it's been rebuilt. Let me try and get a picture. But yeah, it's been rebuilt, and it does work. It's really quite good, actually.
That's good.
Was
I don't know why, but when you were talking about a ballast tamper, I expected to see something that looked like the
Bro's
Skarloey
got a little
repair.
seat now. He's got a little
hell
trolley
yeah.
in the seat. It's not as like square. It's just like a
Aw.
bit thinner now.
Okay.
But we got that to replace the old temper, which was just a bit dead.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Built
Ripping
a
pepperoni.
pender out like spare parts and stuff. But yeah,
I do love
When
the
was that
vibe.
built?
I love the vibe of early preservation TR, because it's just very much like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we have like a couple of pods here, let's see what we can make happen.
We've got these
We're
bits.
gonna build a doohickey and see if it works.
that's basically the old number 5 and
Yeah.
Charlie's Ant, the tractor
Yeah.
and stuff.
I would say that the original number 7 is best described as a doohickey. I love the word doohickey. Thank you for reminding me of that, JB.
They got the contraption in this bitch. Back to the picture again, though. There's a point that I wanted to make that just like, it's just real quick. That like this really is like Kenny playing to his strengths and like painting like a convincing environment that just looks gorgeous, and the train actually feels like it's part of it and is cohesive.
Yeah.
Glares pointedly at Dalby.
It's novel, isn't it?
Strange, isn't
not.
it? Shall we move along now?
I think we should move.
Yeah.
Unless anybody else has anything to say, but I think we've run out of things to do
Yeah.
on the page.
Let's move on.
I just had to make that point. I just wanted to
Moving.
make
Sorry, did
So
you say something,
yeah,
Luke?
let's. I'll do the next page.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Awesome.
Zip, doop,
Yippee.
boop, boop.
Duncan had stuck at the far end of the tunnel. His coaches were outside, and the passengers were helping the driver and fireman to dislodge some rocks wedged between the top of his cab and the tunnel roof. Duncan was cross. "My plain blunt engine," he kept saying. "I speak as I find. Tunnels should be tunnels and not rabbit holes. This railway is no good at all." "Don't be silly," snapped his driver. "This tunnel is quite big enough for engines who don't want to rock and roll."
I remember what Luke was saying earlier about how there aren't tunnels on the Talyllyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably...
So did anything?
I was going to say, it's probably
sorry.
in reference to how, like, tight the clearances were when Douglas arrived on the TR and they had to, like, lower track under some of the bridges so he could fit.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking the same thing. Like the especially the bridge at Wharf. Like how they couldn't get permission from the town to like raise the bridge up. So they just had to dig.
Yeah, it was the same for a lot of the bridges up the line. Yeah, they just had to dig the track down and lay it lower, so Douglas could kind of. You can still see like it. There's a pronounced dip under some of the bridges, and you can still see it.
Oh my god.
That's real fucking good. If you want to know more about this, you should watch the engine story video on the Talyllyn Railway YouTube channel.
Ooh, yes.
I have no.
It's very
I have
good.
no skin in the game on that whatsoever. None.
Certainly not. Anyway,
This is such a good Duncan illustration too. Like
there's the face.
him just. It's the face. Like he's not happy to have all these people fussing over him. Get the rocks off the top of his cab.
I fucking hate this.
It was.
There's got to be a better way to.
This illustration
glad
that,
that
I based the face on.
Yeah.
The Audrey.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Audrey event. It was like. It just had to be.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
quintessentially
it makes a very
Duncan.
strong. I guess it's not his first impression, because his first impression was like a page or so back. But like in terms of like being introduced to Duncan as an actual character in a story, who is saying things, this is a really good one.
These are some of the pictures we got from the event, and I just think it just sums it up, especially the one with like the wagons.
I really love how
it's
the
so
Duncan
perfect.
face is just so pissed off that he's not even looking at the platforms.
Well, that was like part of the thing. I've done a thread on Twitter, which I should copy over to Blue Sky. About how I made all the engine faces for the Talyllyn, the new ones, because I designed them, and we print them, and I basically put them together for the engines. Which, God, if you asked me if I was doing that a few years ago, I'd probably laugh. But here we are.
Yeah.
And so part of it is like Duncan is pissed, he's angry, but he can't be angry at a child because then they will cry. So he's angry at the world, and he's locking off into space, specifically away from the platforms. The only time he can be pissed looking at you is if you're stood on a bridge.
In which case,
So hope there are no children on any of the bridges.
I mean, in which case they're not at the event. Therefore, the railway isn't liable if the
yeah.
child
No,
cries.
no. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But no, we take a lot of care in trying to think of like, where should this character be looking?
yeah,
Because like
I
Peter
think
Sam
that's really
and
good.
Rusty, they can look at the platform. They're friends. They're happy.
Yeah.
Not Duncan.
So Handel's not looking at anything.
Oh, so Handel's just full of himself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why are you trying not to laugh, bro? That's so disrespectful.
Sir Handel, I'm watching your stream right now.
So Handel
I-
was just mogging the entire
I admire
time.
so much the work that you put into. Oh, I'm sorry for.
No, I was saying, so Handel's just mogging the entire time. Mogging him. Whichever fucking one it was.
Sir Handel
admire
was
so
not
much-
lip-smaxing today.
I admire so much the work that you've put into these. They are so wonderful.
Like there was
Thank you.
a specific moment that
They're brilliant.
of Hazel and I on the platform at Wharf during the event this year, and we looked over at Sir Handel, like, refueling in the little siding, and just him pulling the face as he's like getting like coal and water and everything, and Rusty's over there, and it was just like, for a very brief moment, it did feel like I was just looking at Sir Handel in real life. You know what I mean? Just like
Super Handel in real life.
Yeah.
Spaghetti!
like it felt real,
That's,
and we didn't even have to remove the face.
Yeah.
That's what we tried to go for, though. It's like, how can
Yeah.
we immerse? And it was when they had the opportunity for the Falcon to be over. It was just like, well, we've got to.
I do love.
It's got the right
I
cab.
do really love the implication made this year in the event that Sir Handel is real and he did come over, but it wasn't Sir Handel during the year in which he got hit with the tree.
Oh no,
Because
no,
it's Sir Hayden.
no. So Hayden just copied him. Didn't want to feel left out.
See, the impression I got was just that Sir Hayden's had an eye patch for the past 40 years.
He's grizzled.
Like, they convinced him
snake.
to dress up as Sir Handel that one time, and then he got hit in the fucking face, and he's had an eye patch ever since. I love that dress in the pictures.
Yeah, that's
Such a pretty
that's real
dress.
nice.
Lucy, she was just at the end. She just came in that to like look the part, and then I was just like, Lucy, do you want to be part of the photo chat, please?
Oh, is this Sodor Gal? Luke?
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I know her.
She was in Auld Lang Syne once, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
As the little Rustin at the army base.
I see. I guess I've heard her voice. I don't think I've ever spoken to her though.
Yeah, I've never spoken with her either. I just sort of like we're mutuals on Twitter. That's it. Like just one of many people that are like adjacent to my friend groups and have like done things with my friend groups. So I'm like, yeah, I know who you are through that and that.
Duncan's very pissed at her by the looks of it.
Yeah, she's breaking the rule. She's gone to the side of Duncan's being pissed at someone.
So
Oh,
so
no.
she's gonna cry and then she's gonna sue you.
No, it's fine.
Naturally.
Sorry.
This is our first time seeing Renius Tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Interesting, that.
This is also the tunnel where Peter Sam gets his dick snapped off, right?
Yeah, there's only the one
Yes.
tunnel.
Yeah. They have a really shit track record with the tunnel.
Yeah.
With the
Oh, well.
size it is, do you blame?
Also, just another residual WTL-ism in my brain is with this scene is, I'm a cunt, I speak as I find. Don't be silly.
I feel like Duncan would be the kind of guy who's like that one post where it's like, you know, misunderstanding queer slang. You look like a cunt.
Because he's already said it anyway before it even became queer slang.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with anything, but I've just seen this post. Dunsparce is ready to love again.
Dunsparce
Aww.
opened the door to its heart.
Had
That's
a grizzled
I'm so happy.
grizzled marriage.
I'm so happy for your Dunsparce. I hope you can find love again.
Yay, Dunsparce! I love Dunsparce.
Good for Dunsparce.
Dunsparce is so nice.
I think it is genuinely one of the funniest things in the fucking world that they made an evolution of Dunsparce and all they did was give it one extra segment.
Yes. It's a perfect creature. Like...
The fact that all they did was just extend it by one and call it Dunsparce is, I think, absolute fucking peak.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, the Dunsparce is like maybe the best thing that they've ever done.
So I just realised that when I was just going through some pictures, that's the previous illustration, the original one. Oh, I've just found a better picture of it.
Nice.
Just to give you an idea of actual
Also, Vivian,
colours.
I'm sorry to interrupt. This is off topic. Feel free to cut this along with like all of the other stuff that you're going to need to cut, Andrew. But I did just have
They call me
when
the
I was
scissor.
when we were watching Ben 10 the other day, I did have a thought that I didn't know if it was, you know, if it would be nice to say in the moment, but now I feel like it's a good time to say it. I feel like Wrath is a lot like Incineroar.
Yeah.
I'm not watching cartoons with you anymore. Go fuck yourself.
No, that's a compliment, because I think Incineroar is cool, and you know what? Wrath is this is the argument for why I think Incineroar is okay. Because, like, you know, he's basically just Wrath. He's, you know, he's a wrestling heel who's, like, you know, being a dick and yelling at people and, like, you know, throwing shit around with his bare hands and stuff.
Trash.
Like,
Both hands.
like, you know,
Garbage all
basically
over the
what I'm
ring.
saying is that you should... Basically what I'm saying, Vivian, is you should replay Sun and Moon and choose Litten and name it Wrath.
Okay, listen. This is the thing, okay? Raph is his own thing, right? And he's fucking hilarious. Like, Raph exists purely as Raph, you know? There's no asterisk to Raph. Incineroar evolves from a cute little kitty cat. I don't want my cute little kitty cat to turn into a buff man.
But what if it's Wrath?
No.
You know, think about, like, you know, like your poor little kitty cat has been, you know, so put upon and, like, you know, like wishing that they had the strength to call out the haters.
So they started juicing.
And then with your love and support as a Pokemon trainer, they grow up big and strong into a giant fucking thing who's like, let me tell you something.
I appreciate what you're trying to do here. However, I just do not like when the Pokemon go from little quadruped animals to bipedal humans with fucking hands. It makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
With both
Okay, I
hands.
see. You're too set in your ways to forgive Incineroar for his sins. I see how it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if I was to ever pick a
Litten.
Litten, if I was ever to pick a Litten in a game, I would honestly just give it an Everstone when it reaches its second evolution. Like
But then you'll never get to use Darkest Lariat.
oh well.
You're no fun.
Something I've always found very interesting about the Dalby illustrations is that they're, like, actually cropped.
Yeah, no, I only posted that because I was looking through the pictures and it was like, they're not pink, they're just like, they're like a cherry. Like a cherry red
Yeah.
that just gets washed out in the books.
It does look quite
Yeah.
nice.
I like it as a thing.
It does. I really like it.
They cleared away the rocks, and Skarloey pulled Duncan and his coaches safely through. Cora was left on a siding, and the workmen stayed to make sure all was safe. Duncan grumbled all the way home, but Skarloey paid no attention. The Thing Controller was waiting for them. "Listen to me, Duncan," he said. "There is nothing wrong with that tunnel. You stuck as you tried to do rock and roll. If it happens again, I'll cut down your cab and your funnel too." Duncan, abashed, was neither plain nor blunt for a whole evening.
I love
this illustration.
yeah.
Yeah, this is the Skarloey face. I love the Skarloey face so fucking
Yeah,
much. Because it's such a live reaction face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's not a... he looks like a turtle, I think.
It's a little,
Like, that's a very
little
turtle
lip
smile.
bite. He's
Yeah, got a little,
Yeah.
little
turtle
lip.
beak.
I think so much about the slight rewriting of the dialogue between the controller and Duncan at the end in the show. Just the
Yeah,
When you
they
say
really
slight,
punch it
that's
up in the
completely
TV series.
it's so good. I love the TV version
Yeah.
of that scene.
you know, channels are not genitals, and you are not a pop star.
And another, just on by that token, another WTL bit that is rent-free is fucking Donald's are dance floors and you are a pop star, and then it just cuts straight to the fucking music video for Common People by Pulp, but with Duncan's face over it.
I just one of my favorite parts of it is just the way that Michelangelos delivers the Duncan thought the fat controller had said quite enough.
Yep.
Need I say more?
I mean, honestly, they make cutting down the funnel and cab sound a lot more severe in the TV series. Like, and here it's just kind of like, I mean, it is kind of a threat, but it's not like, they don't frame it like it's, some horrifying thing that could happen to him. It's just kind of like, oh man, that'll be embarrassing.
There's no panache to it. If anything, I feel like here it does sound like more of a threat because it is just open. In the TV show, the fact that Joel is just having a laugh with it.
I'm going to kill you.
And if it happens again, I shall find ways to cut you down to size.
I am going to kill you, and then kill you again.
What are you two fucking talking about?
Oh.
This is a good story.
Yeah.
Do we want to move into rankings, or do we have more to say?
I do have slightly more to say.
I was going to say as well, this is the, as I said earlier, this is the Vale of Rydal location, so yeah, another not Talyllyn place.
Oh yeah!
On the Skarloey.
Yeah. Something else to be said for the TV episode's ending, like, in comparison to the actual story ending, is that, like, it is kind of also a little, crazy to think that this story was published around, like, probably just edging on the precipice of the term pop star even being coined to begin with.
Oh my god, you're right, aren't you? Oh no.
And I looked into it.
That's my reaction whenever Andrew's right, too.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Nobody fucking has me, alright? Nobody fucking has me. This world is hell. I'm a fucking shining beacon of, like, whatever the fuck I am, alright? Anyway. Yeah, no, I did some looking up earlier, and apparently the term pop music was first coined in 1926. Just, obviously shortened from popular, and however, pop culture itself, as a term attested from 1959, which is the year this book was published. Which, obviously, short for popular culture, which, round about 1846 that originates.
Huh. Language is interesting.
Language is very interesting. I like when I get to, like, sneak in little bits of language bits.
Honestly, one of my
really
favorite things with that is still the post I saw like a year or so ago now of discussing how, like, the specific style of writing where, like, it's all lowercase and there's no punctuation just to imply that it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
I saw a post discussing how that has kind of solved an issue in English linguistics, because there was no way to write a hypothetical question before that. And it was, like, really fucking interesting.
You're gonna have to link me that post. That's fascinating as fuck.
Yeah, you might have to link that. I am pressing X to doubt. That sounds like one of those, like, pop misconception things people will just do for a laugh sometimes, like the fucking posts about, oh, Chad is totally a fourth person pronoun, despite the fact that no, that's not how that works. Yeah. Like, I'm wondering if it's just that, but for this specific topic.
No, it
does sound interesting.
From what I remember, I'm pretty sure the person was like actually like very knowledgeable on linguistics. It's just been a while since I read the post, so.
Okay.
Well, sometimes the memory cheats.
Just like my wife.
Damn.
Anyway, should we?
Thank you.
Anyway, this story's awesome. Let's move into ranking.
Yeah, let's rank it.
So, I don't know, I'm having a bit of trouble, like, committing to a number. Because, like, it's a nice, cozy story that gets us up to speed with what's new on the railway, and by proxy, the Talyllyn. While also just having a fun little romp with Duncan in the back half. And I don't know, I think I might give it a Toby, but I'm not sure. I feel like, for some reason, my brain's not letting me go higher. But I don't know. I think I don't know. What do y'all think?
It's a very exposition dump story, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
which is nice, but as a story, I get what you mean. Like, I'd probably agree with like a strong Toby or a weak duck. Yeah, a puntable duck.
Yeah.
The kind of
Sad.
duck that like a child could beat in a fight.
Yeah.
But
Pathetic,
no,
sopping wet.
it's good because obviously it's quite memorable for introducing a lot of characters, and you get your first taste of Duncan. But in itself,
Yeah.
it's basically it's just here's all the things, and then an engine gets stuck. You don't really get the catharsis of Duncan getting stuck either, because there's no build up to kind of him being an ass to get his comeuppance with that. Like, you hear that like he's rude and that he doesn't like Rusty, but like you don't get a wanting him to learn his lesson, I guess.
I want him to
you
learn
do,
his
Duncan,
lesson
that's
for
the
not
next
liking
story.
Rusty,
Well,
because
yeah.
that's mean.
Yeah, I think he needs a death
But yeah,
penalty
no,
for not being nice to
strong
Rusty.
Toby, weak duck.
Yeah, I'd probably say low end duck as well. Just for all the reasons already listed.
I'll just Toby it, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Well,
Yeah.
That
That's
was
it.
home at last, I guess.
That was home at last. Yeah.
So we
Wow.
got 2 ducks, 2 Toby, so it averages out to a Dobie.
Yep.
That just sounds like
Fuck Adobe, by the way.
Or
Yeah, fuck you, Adobe.
can you,
I'm never going to pay for your fucking software. You fucking suck.
Andrew, just superimpose the Adobe logo into the rankings?
I already did.
Well, next time we're gonna be talking about rock and roll.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I fucking love rock and roll. It's a good old genre of music.
Hell yeah.
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 Cavemen playing rock
Yeah.
music.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our funny little show.
Yeah, thank you for listening to the
Thank
Book Club,
you
everybody.
for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me
Next
again,
time. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
People,
Yes.
and
Thank you, Luke.
goodbye.
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 Ah.